Here's a quote from page 104. Quote, "I believe that it is perfectly appropriate for teachers and others involved in curriculum development to plan activities that have no explicit or precise objectives. In an age of accountability, this sounds like heresy. Yet surely there must be room in school for activities that promise to be fruitful, even though the teacher might not be able to say what specifically the students will learn or experience. Parents do this all the time. The trip to the zoo, weekend spent camping in the woods, the bicycle ride after dinner. No specific objective or problems are posed prior to setting out on such activities. Yet we feel that they will be enjoyable and that some good will come from them. Curriculum planning and schooling in general need not always be single-minded in their pursuits, forever focusing on objectives that are by definition always out of reach. Purposes need not precede activities. They can be formulated in the process of action itself," end quote. Now, there is a figure 2. And so in this figure, it talks about how behavioral objectives leads to the behavioral activity. Problem-solving objectives leads to a problem-solving activity. But with expressive outcomes, it's actually flipped the direction. So the expressive activity leads to an expressive outcome. So rather than starting with the end in mind, with the outcome in mind, it starts with the activity or the experience. Whether or not you actually have a behavioral objective planned in advance, the actual outcome is not going to be what you think it is. Even if a student can demonstrate understanding of something, like successfully demonstrate how to use a for loop inside of a very specific program, great. That's not the only outcome that comes out of this. We have to acknowledge that students are going to walk away from this with many different understandings of that particular lesson or experience. It might relate to what they learn, and that might be like a computer science concept or practice, and it might also be that they don't like computer science, or that they do like computer science. And hammer it home, if we focus on those things that students want to explore, the concepts and the practices will fall in line, because as they explore their interests, they're going to have to learn these concepts and practices to be able to create what they want. But if we start focusing on the rote little things like what is recursion, etc., and we don't actually get to the application of understanding in a meaningful way until a capstone project at the very end, we might lose students along the way.